I've already published biographies of them, which will slot into sequence in this series. This first book in the series focuses on the consorts of the Norman kings of England. 4 of them were called Matilda, or Mathilde, Maud, Maud, or Maud. The names were interchangeable, while Maud is an ancient German variant. Therefore, in the interests of clarity, I refer to them as follows: Matilda of Flanders, Matilda of Scotland, the Empress Maud, and Matilda of Boulogne. The domains of the Norman monarchs of England, who ruled from 1066 to 1154, straddled 2 lands. They were Dukes of Normandy and Kings of England. They had little concept of nationalism, ruling in a feudal world where every man had an overlord. The king was accountable only to God, and land tenure counted for everything. Thus, they had a European perspective, and it would be from continental kingdoms and principalities that they took their queens. All but one of England's medieval queens were of the high royal blood of Europe. It was not until 1464 that an English king married an English-born commoner. The English had a Norman queen before the Norman Conquest. She was the wealthy spendthrift Emma of Normandy, circa 985 to 1052. Twice Queen of England as the wife of Ethelred II and King Canute, and mother of King Edward the Confessor. However, her story is not included in this book because she was the wife of kings who ruled before the Norman Conquest of 1066, and not the consort of a Norman king. How do we define the word queen? A queen regnant is a female monarch who succeeds to the throne and reigns in her own right, exercising sovereign power. In contrast to a queen consort, who is the wife of a reigning king and shares her husband's majesty, rank and titles, but not his sovereignty. A queen dowager, or dowager queen, is the widow of a king. A queen mother is a queen dowager who is also the mother of a reigning sovereign. 4 of the 5 Norman queens were crowned queen consort. Between the Norman Conquest of 1066 and the coup that placed Lady Jane Grey on the throne in 1553, there were no queens regnant in England. In these centuries, English queenship was embodied by queens consort, with one exception, the Empress Maud, who claimed, with some justification, to be Queen Regnant of England in her own right, and fought a war to that end. I've included her here because she was her father's acknowledged heir to the throne and should, constitutionally, have succeeded him. Many realms have forbidden succession by or through women, citing the ancient civil code of the Salian Franks, said to have been first drawn up around AD 500 by the legendary French King Clovis. In England, the Salic law never applied, and 4 kings, Stephen, Henry II, Edward IV, and Henry VII, owed their titles entirely, or in part, to their female ancestors, while Edward III's claim to the French throne, which led to the 100 Years' War, derived from his mother. It is also worth noting that 4 of the 5 Norman queens were chosen as consorts for their maternal ancestry. Yet while women were respected as the transmitters of dynastic lineage, they were universally regarded as inferior beings who were emotional and irrational, and it was generally seen as unnatural and undesirable for a woman to wield dominion over men. Few women enjoyed autonomy. Girls were subject to their fathers, wives to their husbands. A woman is completely in the power of her husband, pronounced Ranulph Glanville, the Chief Justiciar.